In the late 1960s, the Silent Joe program tested quiet, nighttime, buoyant flight to detect and attack Viet Cong truck convoys. During the 1970s, many studies suggested restoring airships to government service. When a Cuban MiG landed at Key West undetected, not far from President Nixon's retreat, Project Skyhook hastily developed large aerostats to deploy look-down radar from a Florida site. In the coming decades, the program expanded to cover the entire southern boundary of the United States. Aerostats and their powerful radars are even based at sea aboard ships with support platforms capable of turning with the wind independent of the ship. In the 1980s, a British company introduced new passenger blimps that showed promise in naval exercises. The United States Coast Guard and foreign countries toyed with airships again, but no government committed to independent buoyant flight. Serious attempts to exercise control over helium's lift resulted in various hybrid aircraft being built in the 1980s. Not all were developed with sound engineering, but all came to naught. During the 1980s, private blimp companies would arise to manufacture fresh designs. Airships returned to Tillamook, Oregon, even after one of the old timber hangars burned down. The American Blimp Corporation produced more of their lightships than any other post-war design. During the Falklands conflict, English warships were lost to sea skimming missiles. Under the Reagan administration, the Defense Department requested designs for a giant radar picket airship, this one to protect the Navy battle group. Goodyear's scale entry, the GZ-22, was the last airship Goodyear Aerospace would build, as it was sold to a new owner. There was still no airship to protect the fleet when the USS Stark was nearly sunk by Iraqi missiles. A second-scale demonstrator from a competing team, the Sentinel 1000, made test flights beginning in 1991. Although too small to carry very large radar, the Sentinel 1000 worked communication relay demonstrations with the fleet, showing great promise. Then in 1996, the old timber hangar at Weeksville, North Carolina, burned down and destroyed the Sentinel 1000. TCOM arose from the ashes to reclaim the 1942 steel hangar. Mechanisms were rebuilt and the giant doors reopened after having been welded shut for 40 years. Weeksville again became the most active LTA center in the country. Even a new technology Zeppelin was flying in Germany as the century drew to a close. It took the terror of 9/11 to shock America into once again considering buoyant flight's unique defensive capabilities. Extremely high-altitude airships will take positions at the new border sentinels, continuing the tradition of buoyant flight protecting American shores. We must never forget the pioneers and heroes of the American airship.